Welcome to the Ainfluencer podcast, your go-to hub for influencer marketing, e-commerce, and affiliate strategies. Follow us to uncover success stories, expert advice, and practical insights to elevate your brand. This is the Ainfluencer podcast, your guide to mastering influence and transforming your business. Stay tuned.
Welcome to our deep dive all about Gen Z shopping habits. I know a lot of you are really looking to get a handle on how this generation, ticks when it comes to actually, spending their money.
It's interesting because it's kind of more than just like habits at this point. It's really like a complete kind of upheaval in how brands need to think about like connecting with their audience.
Yeah, and a lot of that is because, we're talking about a generation that's roughly born between 1997 and 2012. They've never known a world without the internet, like they were digital natives.
Exactly. And I think even more interesting than that is they've grown up with just like marketing all around them. And they're like so good at spotting anything that is, even remotely fake.
So it's not just about being online, it's about being real online.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's like, imagine growing up where every single influencer is trying to sell you something. You just develop this like almost like a sixth sense for like what's genuine and what's just like a sales pitch.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Okay, so authenticity is key. But how does that translate into their actual preferences? Like, what are they looking for in brands beyond just honesty?
I think a lot of it is dialogue and representation. They wanna see themselves, and so they care about a lot of those kind of social issues that we see, like sustainability, social justice, but they're also pretty pragmatic.
Okay, so that's an interesting mix. So you're saying it's not enough to just slap a Save the Planet sticker on your product and hope for the best.
Yeah, you're not going to see Gen Z buying like a poorly made product just because it claims to be sustainable. They just won't do it. And the data actually bears that out. Social responsibility is really important to them, but it's not necessarily going to be like the deciding factor. Quality and price still actually hold a lot of weight.
It's like you can't just virtue signal your way into their wallets.
Exactly. You have to have like the main value proposition has to be strong as well. It's like you might love a brand because of their ethical stance, but if their clothes fall apart after one wash, are you really going to keep buying from them?
Yeah, probably not. Makes sense.
Okay,
so we've got a generation that's super aware of marketing values, authenticity, representation, cares about social issues, but won't compromise on quality or price.
Yeah.
Where do they even shop? I'm guessing social media plays a pretty big role.
It's almost like the main stage now. Yeah. Think about Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Those are like their main places, and almost 70% of Gen Z in the US have bought something that they saw on social media.
That's huge. But social media is so crowded. How do brands even cut through the noise with this generation?
Well, it's about understanding like how they're consuming content. Forget like these long polished ads, right? It's all about like short, snappy videos. They really just want information that's like fast and digestible.
So TikToks, Reels, YouTube Shorts, that's how they're discovering new products.
Exactly. Yeah, 41% of them say that that's their preferred way to find out about new stuff. It's not even just passive viewing. It's engaging and commenting and sharing. It's this constant conversation.
Yeah, and it's not even just limited to online. We're seeing this whole omni-channel experience where they'll do research online and then go into a store or vice versa.
Exactly. A seamless experience is just really key for them. And don't forget the power of online reviews. Gen Z really trusts what their peers are saying online more than any fancy ad campaign.
It's like word of mouth, but on steroids.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think what we're seeing is this real shift in the power dynamic. Brands are not really in control of the message anymore, It's Gen Z is turning to each other, to influencers, to find out what's really good.
It's all about earning that trust. But how can brands do that in a way that feels genuine, especially when everyone's screaming for attention?
Well, that's where things get really interesting, right? This whole desire for authenticity has led to some really fascinating new trends. And one that comes to mind is this idea of de-influencing.
De-influencing. What is that?
So imagine an influencer, somebody you trust, telling you not to buy something.
Wait, seriously? That goes against everything we know about influencer marketing.
I know, right? And over half of Gen Z say they've been de-influenced in the past year. They really want honesty, even if it means not buying something.
Wow, that's a huge shift. So it's not just about showcasing the best side of a product anymore.
No, it's about being honest, giving these nuanced reviews. Gen Z really wants to know the good and the bad.
So honesty is truly the best policy with this generation.
It really is. And this
Yeah.
all ties into the power of influencers, right? I mean, they see influencers as relatable peers, more like friends than like traditional celebrities.
So it's not just about partnering with somebody who has a huge following.
No, not necessarily. In fact, a lot of times Gen Z responds a lot better to micro-influencers, so those with smaller but like super engaged audiences.
So it's like getting a recommendation from a friend who just knows your taste perfectly.
Exactly. They really value that niche expertise and authenticity over a celebrity that's just reading a script.
Okay, so we've established that influencers are super crucial for reaching Gen Z. But how can brands go about finding the right influencers and building like these genuine relationships with them? It seems pretty daunting.
Well, there are some really great tools out there that can help. One that comes to mind is Ainfluencer. It's actually a free influencer marketplace that was designed specifically to help brands connect with the right influencers.
Looking to connect with your audience and make your product go viral? Meet Ainfluencer.com, the end-to-end marketplace that connects you with over 1 million Instagram and TikTok influencers for free. With no subscriptions or fees, Ainfluencer.com makes it easy to find the perfect collaboration partners for your brand instantly. Its AI-powered system does the heavy lifting, matching you with influencers based on niche demographics, past performance, and engagement. Start your campaign directly from your Ainfluencer dashboard or your Shopify store in seconds. Manage everything from inviting influencers and negotiating deals to secure payments and performance analytics all in one place. Handle influencer-curated lists, affiliate marketing, and content creation, even translated into 200+ languages, all without paying any platform fees. Unlimited use, forever free. Visit Ainfluencer.com today and take your brand to the next level.
A free marketplace. Tell me more.
Yeah, so it's really cool because it democratizes the process. It has this vast database of influencers, primarily on Instagram and TikTok, and it uses these smart algorithms to suggest matches based on your brand's specific needs and target audience.
So it takes the guesswork out of finding the right fit.
It does, and it goes even beyond matching, right? It also provides tools for communication negotiation, campaign management. It really just streamlines the whole process.
Sounds like a dream for marketers.
Yeah.
So Influencer connects you with the right influencers, helps manage campaigns, and it's free.
That's right. And one of the best things about it is it really prioritizes transparency and security, so you can be confident that you're working with like reputable creators.
Well, that definitely sounds like something worth exploring.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond using a platform like Ainfluencer, are there any like standout examples of brands that have really just like nailed it when it comes to reaching Gen Z through influence marketing? Like who should we all be taking notes from?
There are some great examples out there, and one of my favorites is Dunkin and their partnership with Charli D'Amelio. She's a massive Gen Z influencer, and they basically leveraged her authentic love for their brand to launch a new cold brew.
Oh yeah, the Charli, I remember that. It was everywhere. And it wasn't just like slapping her face on a cup. She genuinely seemed to love the product.
Exactly, and the results were really impressive. You know, they saw a 57% increase in app downloads and a 20% jump in cold brew sales in just the first 5 days. That's really the power of like tapping into that authentic connection with Gen Z.
That's amazing. What other brands are worth paying attention to?
Another great one is Gymshark, and they really built their entire brand around community by partnering with like a whole army of fitness micro-influencers.
So not just one big name, but a whole network of authentic voices.
Exactly, and it really creates this feeling that it's more than just clothes, it's a lifestyle. And it's not about like perfectly sculpted models, it's about like real people working out, having fun, and just like sharing their fitness journey.
It's like getting fitness inspiration from your friends, which makes it so much more relatable.
Right. And then you have brands like Chipotle who have just like mastered the art of TikTok challenges. Do you remember the guac dance?
Oh yeah, millions of views, tons of user-generated content, and a massive spike in guacamole sales.
It's all about understanding how Gen Z consumes content and like making your brand a part of the fun, not interrupting it.
So it's about being playful and engaging and tapping into those viral trends that Gen Z loves.
Exactly. And another brand that I think is doing a really fantastic job is ASOS. They really understand the importance of diversity and self-expression for Gen Z, and their As Seen on Me campaign featured a wide range of micro-influencers and just like real people styling their clothes in these unique ways.
So it's about celebrating individuality and making people feel seen and represented.
Right, and it really resonated with Gen Z. It felt authentic because it wasn't just about selling clothes, it was about empowering people to express themselves.
Okay, I'm starting to get a clear picture here. It's about way
Yeah.
more than just having a presence on social media.
It is. It's about understanding the nuances of this generation,
Mm.
their values, their preferences, how they consume content, and how they actually interact with brands.
So brands need to be authentic, transparent, and truly understand the communities that they're trying to reach.
Absolutely. And it's not just about following trends, it's about anticipating them, adapting, and constantly evolving.
Well, we've certainly covered a lot of ground already, and it's super clear that Gen Z is like reshaping the landscape of marketing. But there's so much more to explore, right? Especially when it comes to like specific strategies for reaching this influential generation.
There is. And in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to be taking a closer look at some of the most influential Gen Z creators out there. The ones that are really shaping trends and driving that engagement. We'll look at what makes them so successful and what brands can learn from them.
Awesome. I'm excited to dive in. Okay, so we've been talking about how crucial authenticity is, for reaching Gen Z, but it's such a buzzword these days.
Yeah.
How can brands actually embody that without it feeling forced? Like, where's the line between being genuine and just like following a trend?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think it's something that so many brands struggle with, right? It's not enough to just say you're authentic. You have to actually be authentic. And for Gen Z, actions definitely speak louder than words.
So what kind of actions are we talking?
I think for Gen Z, it's a lot about transparency.
Mhm.
They really want brands to be open about their practices, their supply chains, their values. They're not afraid to ask those tough questions and hold brands accountable.
So it's about being willing to show the behind the scenes, the good and the bad.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also about being willing to admit when you make mistakes and owning up to it and showing how you're learning and growing from them.
That's refreshing because it seems like so many brands are just afraid to show like any vulnerability.
But I think that's what makes it real. Gen Z can smell a cover up from a mile away. They would so much rather see a brand that's trying to do better, even if they kind of stumble along the way.
It's like they're saying, hey, we're all human here. Let's be real with each other.
Right. And I think this also ties into the importance of representation. Gen Z is the most diverse generation that we've ever seen, and they expect to see that diversity reflected in the brands that they support.
So it's not just about showing diverse faces in your ads.
No, it's about having diverse voices, behind the scenes in your company culture and your decision-making processes. It's really about truly embracing inclusivity and making everyone feel seen and heard.
It's about walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Exactly. And when brands actually do that, when they show that they're genuinely committed to this authenticity and social responsibility, it helps them build a much deeper connection with Gen Z.
It becomes more than just a transaction. It's a shared set of values.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's about creating a brand that people actually want to be a part of, not just a brand that they buy from.
So we've talked about, authenticity, representation, values. Like, how do those kind of abstract ideas translate into concrete actions? Like, what are some specific things brands can do to connect with Gen Z on those levels?
Well, I think it's helpful to look at some of these emerging trends that we've been seeing. We talked about those AR shopping experiences earlier, and I think they're a really great example. They're not just a gimmick. They can be a powerful way to create a more engaging and authentic shopping experience.
Okay, so less sci-fi movie, more like practical tool.
Think about it, right? Instead of just seeing a product image online, you can actually visualize it in your own space. You can try on clothes virtually, see how a piece of furniture would look in your living room, experiment with different makeup looks.
That's a really good point.
What's
It takes away so much of the uncertainty of online shopping.
Yeah, exactly. And it allows brands to showcase their products in a way that's more interactive and engaging. You could even host a virtual try-on session with an influencer or create an AR-powered pop-up shop.
It creates that feeling of playfulness and discovery that Gen Z really seems to love.
Exactly. And speaking of playfulness, let's talk about virtual influencers.
Okay, this is where I get a little skeptical. Can a computer-generated character really connect with Gen Z on an authentic level?
I think it's a valid concern, and to be honest, it's still pretty early days for virtual influencers, but I think the key is to approach them with the same principles of authenticity that we've been talking about.
So no soulless avatars just hawking products.
Exactly right. A successful virtual influencer really needs to have a compelling backstory, a unique personality, a set of values that align with their target audience. They need to feel like real people, even if they exist only in the digital world.
So it's like they need to earn their credibility just like any other influencer.
Exactly. And they need to be used in a way that feels authentic and adds value to the consumer experience. Maybe they're hosting a live stream or creating educational content or advocating for a cause they believe in.
It's about thinking beyond just using them as a marketing gimmick.
Right. It's about creating a character that can actually connect with Gen Z and become like a part of their digital world.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. What other trends should brands be paying attention to when it comes to Gen Z?
I think social commerce is huge right now, and
Yeah.
we're really seeing platforms like TikTok and Instagram just become full-blown shopping destinations. You can literally discover a product, watch a review, and buy it all within the same app.
So it's like that seamless experience we talked about earlier, taken to a whole new level.
Exactly. And live shopping streams are becoming super popular too, especially with Gen Z. They love that immediacy, that ability to interact with influencers and brands in real time.
It's like the modern day version of QVC, but with a much cooler vibe.
Exactly. And then you also have the whole evolution of user-generated content.
Yeah.
Gen Z trusts their peers more than any brand. So showcasing real people using and loving your products is just incredibly powerful.
It's like word of mouth, but on steroids. And it feels so much more authentic than a polished ad campaign.
Yeah, and brands can really encourage user-generated content by creating branded hashtags, running contests, partnering with those micro-influencers, and resharing customer content on their own channels.
It's a win-win, right? You get this authentic content and your customers feel seen and appreciated.
Exactly. And don't forget about the importance of data. Use social listening tools and analytics to track trends, understand what's resonating with Gen Z, and measure the success of your campaigns.
So be data-driven and customer-centric, always listening and learning.
Absolutely. And I think all of this really ties back to that core principle of authenticity. Be real, be transparent, be willing to experiment, and be open to feedback.
It sounds like a lot to keep up with, but it's also incredibly exciting.
It is. And I think the brands that are willing to embrace this change and adapt to the evolving needs of Gen Z are going to be the ones that thrive in the years to come.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today,
Yeah.
from the power of AR to the rise of these virtual influencers. But there's one piece of the puzzle that we haven't really fully explored yet, and that's the influencers themselves.
That's right. And in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to be taking a closer look at some of the most influential Gen Z creators out there, the ones who are shaping trends and driving engagement. We're going to look at what makes them so successful, what brands can learn from them, and how they're really shaping the future of marketing.
Are you an Amazon seller dreaming of explosive sales growth? Tired of struggling to reach new customers? You're not alone. Scaling your Amazon business can be tough, but what if there was a secret weapon? Introducing AlgoRift, the all-in-one Amazon affiliate platform that connects you with over 100,000 eager affiliates ready to promote your products across the web. Imagine this: a massive army of influencers and content creators, all working to drive traffic and sales directly to your Amazon listings. With AlgoRift, this dream becomes a reality. AlgoRift simplifies the entire Amazon affiliate marketing process. Simply connect your Amazon account, sync your products, and set your personalized commission rates. Then invite top-notch affiliates to join your program, all within the AlgoRift platform. No more messy spreadsheets, complicated tracking links, or juggling multiple platforms. AlgoRift.ai handles it all. You can chat directly with your affiliates, negotiate personalized commissions, and manage all your payments in one convenient place. Ready to maximize the power of affiliate marketing? Visit AlgoRift.ai today and claim your free trial. AlgoRift.ai. Connect, collaborate, conquer.
All right, so we've talked about how important influencers are, for reaching Gen Z, and I know you're probably all eager to learn a little bit more about the actual creators that are out there, making waves.
Absolutely. Gen Z influencers are like a force to be reckoned with, really. They're not just trendsetters. They're savvy entrepreneurs, activists, storytellers that are like changing the game.
So who are some of the biggest names in the Gen Z influencer space? The ones that are really shaping the landscape.
Well, you can't really talk about Gen Z influencers without mentioning Charli D'Amelio. She's practically synonymous with TikTok at this point. She's got this massive following, incredible engagement.
Yeah, she's the queen of viral dance trends.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more than just entertainment, right?
Exactly. Charli's really been able to translate her online fame into a really successful business. She's partnering with major brands, and she's even launched her own product lines.
Wow, she's like proof that Gen Z influencers aren't just fleeting trends. They have some serious staying power. So who else should we be watching?
Another really big player is Emma Chamberlain. She's a YouTube and social media star known for her really candid and relatable style. Gen Z just loves her authenticity and her willingness to be vulnerable.
She's like that cool older sister that gives you really honest advice. What makes her so successful?
Well, I think Emma has really built her brand on just being real and relatable. She doesn't shy away from showing her flaws or talking about her struggles, which I think makes her incredibly relatable to Gen Z.
That's that authenticity thing again.
Right. And she's not just an influencer, she's also a creative force. She directs her own videos, she launched her own coffee company, she's collaborating with major fashion brands.
She's like a multi-hyphenate.
Yeah.
Which seems to be a pretty common theme among these really successful Gen Z influencers.
Definitely. Yeah, they're not just influencers, they're entrepreneurs, content creators, activists.
Okay, so we've got Charlene, we've got Emma, who are both like pretty well known at this point.
Yeah.
Who are some like up-and-coming Gen Z influencers that are maybe a little bit more under the radar?
Well, there's Zach King. He might be a bit older than Gen Z, but his Magic Illusion videos are just like hugely popular on TikTok and Instagram.
Oh yeah, his videos are so creative and just fun to watch.
Yeah, he's a master at creating content that just like goes viral. And he's really shown that you don't have to be a traditional celebrity to build a massive following.
It's all about that wow factor and creating content that people just want to share.
Exactly. And then you have like these micro-influencer success stories like Hiram Yarbrough, better known as Skincare by Hiram.
Yeah.
He started with a smaller following on YouTube and TikTok, but his genuine passion for skincare and honest product reviews just like resonated really deeply with Gen Z.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Yeah.
His recommendations can seriously make or break a skincare product.
Right. He's built this really loyal following based on trust and expertise, and he's proof that you don't need millions of followers to be influential.
It's about finding your niche and connecting with an audience that genuinely values your opinion.
Exactly. And these are just a few examples, right? I mean, there's so many talented and creative Gen Z influencers out there, each with their own like unique voice and perspective.
Yeah, it's really inspiring to see how they're using their platforms to build businesses, to advocate for change, and just like connect with their audiences in these really meaningful ways.
It is, and it really underscores the importance for brands to really understand like the individual influencers that they're partnering with, their values, their audience, their creative style.
It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right. A successful influencer marketing campaign really requires a deep understanding of the influencer's brand and how it aligns with your own.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about like specific influencers and brands.
Yeah.
But let's like zoom out for a minute. What are the key takeaways for brands who want to succeed in this like ever-evolving landscape of Gen Z marketing? What do they really need to keep in mind as they navigate this new world?
Well, I think first and foremost, brands really need to be authentic. I know we've said it a million times, but it really is like the foundation of everything.
Gen Z can spot a fake a mile away.
Exactly. So be transparent about your values, about your processes, about your mistakes. Show your human side. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and relatable.
It's about building trust, not just trying to sell something.
Right. And I think really closely tied to authenticity is social responsibility. Gen Z expects brands to take a stand on issues that matter to them and to really make a positive impact on the world.
So integrate social impact into your marketing campaigns, partner with charities, and be transparent about your efforts.
Exactly. And don't just pay lip service to these issues. Gen Z will see right through that. They want to see real action, real change.
It's about aligning your brand with a purpose that resonates with Gen Z and then taking meaningful steps to support that purpose.
Absolutely. And remember, Gen Z is incredibly tech savvy. They're early adopters of new technologies and platforms. So brands really need to stay ahead of the curve and be willing to experiment.
Embrace those emerging trends like AR, explore the potential of virtual influencers, and just be open to trying new things.
Right. Don't be afraid to kind of push the boundaries and create innovative experiences that will really capture Gen Z's attention.
And don't forget the power of user-generated content.
Absolutely. Encourage your customers to share their experiences. Create branded hashtags. Reshare customer content on your own channels.
It's a win-win. You get authentic content, and your customers feel seen and appreciated.
And most importantly, be data-driven. Use social listening and analytics to really understand Gen Z's preferences and behaviors, track the performance of your campaigns, and constantly adapt to their evolving needs.
It's about being agile, being curious, and always being willing to learn and grow.
Exactly. And I think the brands that are willing to do that, to really understand and embrace the values and preferences of Gen Z, will be the ones that thrive in the years to come.
I think we've covered just about everything we can on Gen Z shopping habits. It's been quite a journey.
It has, and it's clear that Gen Z is a generation that demands authenticity, social responsibility, and a seamless and engaging experience.
They're not just consumers. They're a force for change. And they're really shaping the future of retail as we know it.
And I believe the brands that are willing to listen and learn and adapt to their needs will be the ones who not only succeed, but also make a positive impact on the world.
Well, thank you so much for taking this deep dive with us. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and are feeling inspired to connect with this incredible generation in new and meaningful ways.
Wish your videos could speak the world's language? Imagine your videos breaking through language barriers and reaching billions more people who speak over 200 languages different from yours. Whether you're a brand, influencer, or podcaster,
Se per te è importante quanto per... If smelling good 24 hours. Si pour toi il est aussi important. Si para ti es tan importante como para mí oler rico 24 horas.
language shouldn't hold you back from reaching larger audiences. Create a video and distribute it in 200+ languages. How does that sound? Our AI-powered video translation makes it possible with just a click. So why limit your reach? Work smarter. Create one video and turn it into 200+ localized versions.
Horas al día. Tengo que recomendarte Cleansense.
Whether you're a business expanding globally, an influencer connecting with diverse followers, or a YouTuber growing your channel, one thing is clear. Language barriers are a thing of the past. With just a few clicks, you can translate your videos into multiple languages,
Would you like me to translate that?
instantly connecting with audiences worldwide. It's simple. Upload your video. Choose the languages to translate to. Let our AI work its magic. In minutes, your video will be transformed with accurate tone, voice, subtitles, and even voiceover options, ready to captivate audiences in any language.
Last a very long time on your body. There are fragrances for both.
Don't wait. The world is watching. Join thousands of businesses, influencers, and content creators who trust our AI to take their content to a global stage. It's time to start up. Brand ID is your digital hub.